Hello students, welcome back. So today I am going to teach you the last set of event in sexual reproduction, that is your post-fertilization event. Alright, in our previous topic, that is in fertilization, we learned that how zygote is formed, right? So, and in this topic, we are going to learn about how they get developed, okay? How development takes place in zygote and what happened as a result of this development, alright? So, in post-fertilization event, it is an event which takes place after the zygote is formed. Okay, now what happens after that? So that zygotes, it develop. Now how does they develop? So zygote formation, zygote is a result of fusion of gametes. I hope this is clear to you, right? It is a fusion of gametes. Then this zygote, they are single cellular. They are single cell zygote. Okay, when zygote form, they are single cell. Later, it developed into multicellular organism. So that is what we are going to learn, that how they become multicellular. All right. So this zygote development, okay, it involves two life cycles. Usually there are generally 3 types of life cycles are there. All right, but here we are going to discuss only 2. So they are your haplontic life cycle and other is your diplontic life cycle. So first I am going to discuss about the haplontic life cycle. Now let us see what is there in haplontic life cycle. Haplontic life cycle. Haplontic life cycle, it starts with zygote. Now how the zygote is formed? The zygote is the result of what? Fusion, that is your syngamy, right? And what is syngamy? It is fertilization. How does it take place? Due to gametogenesis, isn't it? The formation of gametes. So gametogenesis, then syngamy, then comes your zygote. And this zygote are twice n, that is your diploid. Then what happened? This zygote here, no free living sporophytes are present. Okay, no free living sporophytes are present. Now this zygote undergo division, cell division, okay, and they undergo meiosis and they form spores, which is haploid. This is diploid. After meiosis, they form what? Spores, which is haploid. Later on, this spores again divides and they divides mitotically, or you can say mitotic division, and they gives rise to gametophyte, which is an individual. And this individual is haploid. All right. So this is your haplontic life cycle. This is how the zygote is developed or how they are formed. Is it clear? So this type of life cycle you have learned in your first year as well. All right. So for reference, you can check your first year book. Okay. Now, I hope this is clear. This is haplontic life cycle. Here, gametophyte phase is dominant. Okay. And the individual is haploid. Now coming to the next is diplontic. Next is your diplontic life cycle. In diplontic life cycle, what happens? Zygote, okay, it divides. Meiosis by, or you can meiotically, okay, and it gives rise to sporophyte, which is twice n, and this is the dominant phase of this life cycle. Here it does not undergo mitotic division. Zygote, it does not undergo mitotic division. It directly undergoes meiotic division and it gives rise to sporophyte, where it gives rise to diploid organisms. Am I clear? So this is called your diplontic life cycle, and this is how the zygote is developed. Now when the zygote develops, it takes what? It takes the form of embryo, which is called embryogenesis. So embryo, right? As I told you, post-fertilization is classified, or it undergoes 2 events, that is your zygote, formation of zygote, and embryogenesis. Embryogenesis. So here we learn about zygote, right? What is zygote? How does it form? Now let us see about embryogenesis. In embryogenesis, what happened? So embryogenesis, you can say development of embryo. Embryo, see, when zygote, okay, when it divides, all right, it develops into an infant, it develops into an offspring, which is called embryo, right? So development of embryo, development of embryo from zygote is called your embryogenesis. What does it call? Embryogenesis. All right. Now, how does they develop from zygote? So it has two steps. Okay. One is your cell division. So two events takes place. Okay, or you can say from zygote to embryo. Okay, between these two process, they have the small events and cell differentiation. Cell division, you know that it divides meiotically and mitotically, based on which they are either haploid or diploid parents, right? Now, in cell differentiation, what happened? We know that zygote is single cell, right? So when the cell division takes place, what happened? The similar type of cell starts forming a group, which is called your cell differentiation, grouping of cells. And these cells together, they will form tissue. And again, the similar kind of tissue cells together, they form organ. And in this way, again, the organ will become organ system. When an individual develops, right, if it is multicellular organisms, so multicellular, right, it means more than one cell. To multicellular organism has a complex body system where different function is carried out by different organs, by different tissue, as you can see in human being, right? It takes 9 months for an infant to develop, right? And within the period of 9 months, the newborn baby, you can see that their body parts are well differentiated, isn't it? So this differentiation takes place due to the cell differentiation, where similar type of cells, they group, okay, they come together and they form tissue, and again a tissue together they form organ, and an organ together they form organ system. Like you can see in us, we have different types of tissues, right? We have muscle tissue, we have nervous tissue, isn't it? Even in plants as well, there are different types of tissue. They have scleromatous, isn't it? So even there they have xylem, phloem, isn't it? Again, they are further divided into different. So this function, okay, they function separately. They have individual tissue, have individual functions. Clear? All right. Now let us see embryogenesis in animal and in plant. So let us see in animal. So embryogenesis, I am not going to discuss this in details. Why? Because in our following chapters, that is in chapter 2 and 3, we are going to discuss this in details. So I shall be explaining you only that much which is required in this chapter, all right? So based on embryogenesis, what is embryogenesis? Formation of embryo from zygote, isn't it? Now where does this embryo form? Whether inside the body or outside the body. All right, based on that, the animals are divided as or classified as oviparous and viviparous, based on whether they lay fertilized egg or unfertilized egg, whether it is inside the body, outside the body. So based on that, they are oviparous and viviparous. Oviparous, you can take an example: bird, reptiles, frog. See, all the organisms who lay eggs, okay, they comes under oviparous, and viviparous are mammals, the one which give rise to their young ones. See, the one which lay eggs, the fertilization takes place outside the body, right? The egg, it is made up of a hard shell. It is covered with a hard shell, isn't it? And it is called calcareous shell, okay, not cell, okay, it's shell, the outer cover. And the viviparous, the mammals, mostly the mammals give rise to their young ones. So it takes place inside the body. The fertilization takes place inside the body, as you can see in most of the animals. All right. So this is about your animals. Now come to the plants. In plants, what happened? Okay, see. This is a reproductive part in plant, okay? So, this is called your stigma, and this is called your style. This is called your ovary. Inside it is called ovule. And this tube-like structure is called your pollen tube. What happens during pollination? We know that pollination is a process where pollen grain transfer, right? So when pollen grain is transferred to the stigma, it goes through this pollen tube and it reaches to this ovule, okay, where these eggs are present. There what happened? Germination takes place, or you can say fertilization takes place. And after the fertilization, what happened? This ovule, it developed into seeds. Ovary will develop into fruits. Am I clear? So ovary will develop into fruits and ovule will develop into seeds. And this ovary, okay, this fruits have an outer cover. All right. So zygote, okay, inside they form what? Zygote form this ovule, okay, this ovule. All right. So they form ovule. Then embryo and ovules, okay, it develop into this ovule, it develop into seeds. All right. And this ovary will develop into fruits, and the fruit will develop a thick wall which is called your pericarp. So what are these parts? So we will discuss this in our next chapter, okay, that is reproduction in flowering plants. So I hope that this is clear to you, the post fertilization event. So this is all for in this chapter. All right, this is the last topic that was left to discuss. So dear students, I would like to request you to revise your chapter before we start our next, so that you don't have any doubts and you are clear with everything. And regarding notes, so I shall be providing you the textual question answers. All right. So I'll send you PDF. So from where you can write the question answers. And if you have any doubts regarding this topic, then do let me know. I'll try to help you out. All right. So this is all for today's class. Take care. Bye-bye.